What's up, movie fans and Netflix bingers? This is the Bros Who Binge podcast. My name is Adam Schubert, and as always, I'm joined by Lyndon Burton. Lyndon, how are you doing this week?
Doing well, man. We got a big episode for the people this week. We got to talk about WandaVision finale. We got to talk about the MCU going forward. And then we got our top 25 actors of all time. Discussion begins today with 25 through 20. Ooh, this was hard to make.
Yeah, it's hard. Number 25 is, a low number when it comes to like who we consider it and to be someone that really tilts the needle for us when it comes to movies. Who puts up good acting performances? Who do we feel like in some ways is a staple to a movie? Someone that can elevate a movie's level just by being in it.
There's a lot of things that I took into consideration. Like, movie stardom is something I considered, but it wasn't high. Acting, affecting the movie. If you replace this guy, could you replace him with someone else and the movie still work? There was a lot of factors that went into me ranking these people.
Yeah, I think, when it comes to the actors we'll discuss today, it's going to be a lot of the butts category. It's like, well, he's, I think he's great, but he's not this, he's not that, he's not at this level, he's not established enough yet. Was more of a supporting guy, not a lead guy. That's gonna be one of my people.
I got two character actors in here, man, and like they're great.
Okay,
but it's like, I'm interested to see where you go because we didn't talk about who we put. We each have our own list, and I'm excited to just have this discussion.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably some people that are going to be on your list that was in like my brainstorm list, and then when it came down to like the final stuff, you just kind of like, who can I think I can talk up well enough? And I feel like this was the hardest stretch, the back half. It's easy to do your top 10, but once you get past that 10, it's like, well,
my girlfriend was mad at some of my picks.
Like I know that this person and this person both deserve to be in like a top 25 list, but are they closer to the 15 to 10, or are they closer to the 20-25?
It was tough.
Rough.
It was
and
rough.
it was a pretty bum week of stories. So we'll get through that.
We're gonna go through those fast.
This is kind of the lull patch of March. I mean, there's still some really good stuff on TV and streaming to watch.
But everything starts off next week.
Yeah, everything pops off next week, and that's kind of what I'm gearing up for, man. I'm just ready for that Falcon Winter Soldier on March 19th.
Look, March and April are going to be jam-packed for both this show and Anime Talk. There's My Hero Season 5 dropping.
When?
March 27th. This month.
Oh, my God.
There's Falcon Winter Soldier. There's Invincible. There's some movies dropping.
Yeah, Invincible, yeah.
There's so much stuff dropping between March and April. It's going to be loaded, and I'm going to be glued to my TV screen constantly.
Yeah, I mean, there's some really great stuff coming on streaming. The movies are really going to be great. TV's jumping into some new seasons of some stuff. My movie on the rise, talking about a special that just happened the day we were filming this.
So
Mortal
Kombat's about to drop.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat is about to drop. Isn't that April?
First 2 weeks of April. Yeah. It's going to be out April 11th. So April 16th. So we're right around the corner. And then Kong versus Godzilla, I believe, is about to drop.
The end of the month.
So this month is Pizact. But we're doing our movie reviews next week. So if y'all want to get ready and watch the movies that we're going to review next week, we're doing Badland and the Frank Grillo Hulu movie.
15 minutes into No Man Land. I had to text Lyndon. I was like, I don't have to watch this today, do
I? It was sad.
I see what the point of the movie is 15 minutes in, and I just don't. I'm just not into it.
It's not one of your types. But do you see why it's an Oscar movie?
No.
Oh, damn. We're gonna have to discuss that next week.
That's a discussion that I feel like we would need to have next week. When we do have that, I'm gonna do a little bit of research on Oscar movies and look up Oscar movies that have come out, maybe they'll say the past 20 years, and what of those movies actually are watchable in my opinion. Like which of those movies, like, you know, they could be stylistically and artistically great, like The Artist, for example. But I'm never gonna watch The Artist.
Yeah,
never.
Yeah, that's like Ray. Like, and the only reason why I'm bringing up Ray is because I was looking to see where I'm putting Jamie Foxx, and like Ray's a great movie, but like I don't think I'm ever watching that again.
Oh, Jamie Foxx is a good point. That might actually bump one of my people.
Well, look, I'm not. You guys look. We know. With that being said, let's get into this week's show whenever you are ready, sir. Because I'm excited for this discussion.
Yeah, I'm ready to get into it. So let's get started. So Netflix is big spending. They are going to acquire the Christian Bale gothic horror thriller, The Pale Blue Eye, which will reunite the actor with director Scott Cooper. This movie, which Cooper has always wanted to make for more than a decade, revolves around the attempt to solve a series of murders that took place in 1830 at the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. Bale will portray a veteran detective who investigates the murders, helped by a detail-oriented young cadet who will later become the world-famous Edgar Allan Poe.
This sounds dope. I'm very interested in this. They should get Timothée Chalamet to be Edgar Allan Poe. I feel like that would just be beautiful. Have him and Christian Bale in there together. Either way, however this goes, I'm all into thrillers. I'm all into mysteries. And Christian Bale's one of the best actors of all time.
Yeah, I feel like getting Christian Bale on this, you know, he'll definitely be somebody we talk about maybe a couple episodes down the line.
Yeah, not this week. Definitely
not this week. And, you know, anything that he's in, I'm definitely interested in. What I really want to know next is who's going to be cast in this Edgar Allan Poe role. Is it someone like a Timothée Chalamet, big name, or is it going to be someone young and up and coming? So I think that's going to be a main part of how this movie moves forward, because that's going to be a pretty big role.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. And I'm just interested to see how they fill out the cast.
Yeah. But it's definitely a really interesting story, and that's why I put it up on the top end. It's got Christian Bale, and you know,
because you got to realize the Army covers up a lot of murders. Like, if you know what's going on in Fort Hood right now, like there's been a series of murders going on in the Army right now, and they never like release it to the public, and the Army has a hard time getting that shit out of there because the Army takes care of their own. So this will be a good insight into that.
Definitely. But let's run into the trailers. We only got 3 of them. I didn't see the third one, so let's start with City of Lies.
City of Lies is basically the Johnny Depp and Forest Whitaker movie. Johnny Depp is playing the lead detective who is investigating the Biggie and Tupac murders. Only problem with this is, for me, is the case never gets solved, so it's going to be one of those Zodiac things where they're going to give a bunch of who it possibly could be and let the viewer choose for themselves. This is either going to be really good or going to be a straight to DVD style movie. Because when you watch the trailer, it's a very interesting stylistic choice. But, you know, Johnny Depp, Forest Whitaker, 2 good actors. Going to be interested to see how this goes. But it's a Netflix movie, so we're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, this movie was made 3 years ago. So it's been floating around for a while. So we'll see but it's like what you said. If you kind of know how it's supposed to end, then, you know,
especially if you've seen all the documentaries, all of Notorious, there's just so much Biggie and Tupac content out there.
And that's what I'm thinking. Like, I'm thinking about that documentary about the detectives and stuff like that, and more so they just felt a little bit incompetent. So I'm just like wondering, at the end of this movie, are we going to be like Johnny Depp and Forest Whitaker, they did what they could do, or are they going to be like, these guys didn't do shit? Because that's how I felt about the real life thing.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see. City of Lies. Y'all check out that trailer.
All right, but the next one I have is The Serpent. That's a Netflix series that is coming soon.
It looked pretty damn interesting.
It did look pretty interesting. It's about this guy who is murdering people in Bangkok. The main guy is Tahar Rahim, who's been getting a lot of recent buzz based on some of his other roles, and he's pretty much the main draw actor.
Yeah, he's the star of it.
It's the twisting real life story of Charles Sobrage, a murderer, thief, and seductive master of disguise who was a hidden darkness in the mid-70s in Asia's hippie trail.
Mm-hmm.
So
gonna be very interesting. Going to France, going to Europe, Jack as a gym seller, jacking these people's money, poisoning them, killing them, and then hiding their bodies all across China and Asia. And people are like, "Where is he at?" And Interpol can't do shit.
yeah, so I thought this was a really interesting concept. You know, the serial killer genre is a huge one at the moment. Everyone is all in on it. So no, what's good when you do these serial killer dramas is you tell a story that not a lot of people understand. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, when you did the Zac Efron Bundy, it's hard to do that because everyone knows those stories really well. But this guy, I've never heard of him.
No one knows about him.
So this could be a really interesting story to be told.
I agree 100%.
The last trailer is one that is gonna scare me when I go to sleep at night. It's Them. It's
Look,
an Amazon show.
I love seeing African Americans jumping into horror. I think Jordan Peele kind of started this boom, but this movie looks better than Us. This movie looks frightening. It's created by Lena Waithe and Lil Charles. Lena Waithe is known for writing for Master of None, writing for her show The Chi. She was in Ready Player One. She's just this versatile actress who is just multifaceted, multi-hyphenate director, writer, producer, actor, Lena Waithe. So I'm excited for this. I literally was watching. I was like, oh, are they going to show the Klan? And like, is the Klan going to be part of this horror? Klan comes up, but it's deeper than that. There's so much just crazy shit going on. There's a blackface clown. All this shit just looks fucking terrifying. Right, so like, I'm never excited to watch horrors, but I'm excited to watch this one.
Yeah, I want to say like it has to do with moving into Compton.
Yeah, it's like the first time a black family moves into this white neighborhood, and the white people are fighting back. They
it looks.
They don't want these black people living in their subdivision. So
it looks weird, man. Straight weird.
Yeah,
another Amazon original. It's gonna be a 10-episode series that premieres on April 9th.
Amazon's killing it, man. Shout out to them. We're definitely gonna be checking that out. But next up, we got the flight attendant star Michelle Gomez was cast in Doom Patrol Season 3. Gomez will star as Madame Rouge, described as a complicated, electrifying, eccentric who arrives at the Doom Manor with a very specific mission. If only she can remember it. It's going to be interesting because Madame Rouge has very similar powers to
Elastigirl.
Yep. And so it's going to be very interesting to see if she's finally taking on her hero motif and how she's going to have to battle Madame Rouge. And I wonder if this is leading to the Brotherhood of Evil.
Yeah. This actually makes me want to get back into Doom Patrol.
Same.
Michelle Gomez did a phenomenal job in The Flight Attendant. She was very menacing with her presence, coming in as Madame Rouge.
If you remember from Teen Titans.
Yeah, a character that I do remember from the Teen Titans, which makes me excited. You know, bring in some familiarity to this. Like, you know, that was the thing about Doom Patrol is you don't really know a lot of the people that are being played in this besides Cyborg.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, bringing in another villain or we don't even know if she's a villain yet, but I assume she is based on Michelle Gomez.
And based on just everything we know about Madame Rouge in the comics.
Yeah.
She's probably going to be a patsy, one of those people who is like starting off as good and is going to be a betrayer working for the Brotherhood of Evil. That's how
something like that. I feel like she and Rita are going to be friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then like there's
going
to be a
betrayer. Yeah, same. Yeah. I'm with you on that. So yeah, no, this is making me want to finish season 2 and get into season 3. So many people have told us we were tripping for not finishing season 2. So now we're going to do it, you know? So I'm excited to see what comes up. Next up, we got New Line won an auction for Classified, a pitch that John Wick director Chad Stahelski is attached to direct. His project. Yeah, you got it messed up in the notes. His project is a high octane thriller that was shot as Die Hard meets Indiana Jones, and is set in a top secret government bunker. The kind that's at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. The bunker contains relics covertly recovered during World War II, and they turn out to be more powerful and dangerous than ever imagined. Sounds interesting.
Yeah, this is going to all be dependent on the cast that comes together for it.
Mm-hmm.
But the concepts are really interesting. You know, just imagine a bunker like that, and we all know that from Raiders that you have like the Ark of the Covenant. So imagine what other kinds of crazy things that you could find in one of these government bunkers. You know, I'm imagining that you could find alien stuff. Stuff that the Nazis put together, the invention wise, stuff that America put together invention wise. Because thinking about other sci-fi fantasy shows that have to do with world wars, Wonder Woman and Captain America, you could have like some kind of Olympic, crazy steel stuff or shields or
I mean, you have Thor's hammer there, bro. It could be
anything. So I think that's a really cool idea. It's all, for me, it's going to depend on who they put around it.
Also, John Wick people are getting a lot of work. This is one of them. Derek Kolstad, member of John Wick's team. I believe he was the former director or one of the writers. He's now in talks that he is developing a live action show for Amazon that is going to be anime related. He's doing the anime version of Hellsing. So that's going to be very interesting. Amazon's already got Hellsing on lock now and Promised Neverland. They're jumping into anime live actions. I just need to see a trailer from one of these, whether it's Netflix, Amazon, whoever's doing it first. I need to see a trailer to see if they're doing it right. But I have more faith in Amazon than I do in Netflix.
Yeah, the only one that I've heard that I think is very manageable, 100% manageable, is Promised Neverland. Like, you can do Promised Neverland. Promised Neverland reminds me of like the demons are going to be difficult, but like we've seen through enough things that you can make them look, and they're not even that huge of a part. Like, it's very.
They are later, not season one, but like when they expand the story, they're very very relevant and always in there. But
like one like movie connection to tie into people who don't know much about Promised Neverland. Kind of think about Maze Runner. You would say that that's accurate?
I think that's a pretty good, fair comparison. Maze Runner meets Stranger Things meets The Goonies, essentially.
Essentially, yeah.
So, but also, I think Hellsing's going to be very manageable for them because Hellsing is basically, he is this hitman that works for this organization that basically takes out demons, humans that have been infected by ghouls, and basically it's him versus this guy who's a Catholic preacher named Anderson, and they're both taking out these ghouls, and they both end up having to fight each other. And Hellsing works for this woman who is like this old family that has been like this organization that has worked for governments for years. So it's very manageable because America has done what vampires. This is their bag, just like Cowboy Bebop should be their bag. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they handle this live action. But One Piece, Naruto, yeah, you could forget about that shit.
Well, moving into our next story, Natalie Portman and Lupita Nyong'o are set to star in a limited series adaptation of Laura Lippman's book Lady in the Lake for Apple TV. The series will be directed by Honey Boy director Alma Harrell. The series takes place in the 60s Baltimore, where an unsolved murder pushes housewife and mother Maddie Schwartz, played by Portman, to reinvent her life as an investigative journalist, and sets her on a collision course with Cleo Sherwood, played by Nyong'o, a hardworking woman juggling motherhood, many jobs, and a passionate commitment to advancing Baltimore's Black progressive agenda. This will be both actresses' first lead TV role.
Just shows where streaming is going and how with prestige, and this makes Apple TV even more prestige, but with things like Apple TV, HBO Max, Amazon, all these actors, all these big name movie stars are I see them as being up for TV now.
Pretty much. I think, 2020 kind of showed that,
you need to be ready.
As great as the movie industry is,
theaters are dying.
The TV industry is what is kind of leading the force. And I think for a lot of people, what TV show are you watching at the moment is a lot more important than did you see this X movie. So I think
Al Pacino was in a TV show. That just shows that, like, a fair game for anybody.
It's that, and then even thinking about the list that we're doing, some of these actors, the ones that have at least gone into TV a little bit, have really pushed themselves more by showing that they could do that. And and then there's some names like Adam Driver, who, when you talk about his whole filmography, you have to talk about the work that he did on TV because it was very incredible and started his entire career. So, it's important.
It just depends on what the story is like. Is it gonna be like, is this Baltimore woman, and does the murder happen to her family, or are both Natalie Portman and Lupita Nyong'o searching to solve this murder? It's gonna be very interesting to see how this goes, but it could be good.
Yeah,
both great actresses.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty good. Apple TV's pretty much landed most of its series. Like, I can't think of one that a lot of people are saying is bad. Besides, like,
the only one I can think of is C, but even people are saying C's pretty good.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that would tell you that C is one of the better ones.
So, yeah, I know. So that's what I'm saying. So like Apple TV is moving up there in terms of like where we should rank them in terms of quality.
Yeah, lucky for them, they picked up that Ted Lasso Golden Globe. That kind of just,
boosted them some more.
Boost them a little bit more, boost some credibility into them. But next we have Elle Fanning. She's being cast in Frances and the Godfather, which you've talked about before. The project about the making of The Godfather. She's going to play Ally McGraw, and Ally McGraw was married to Paramount's head of production, Robert Evans, who will be played by Gyllenhaal.
Nice, cool. Getting some more stuff with that. Interested to see who's going to play Francis Ford Coppola. So, going to keep.
I think they announced that.
They might have. Let's see.
Yeah, I got that.
Go ahead.
Because when I was reading this, they had said who was Oscar Isaac is Francis Ford Coppola.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, perfect. That's dope.
And Elizabeth Moss is Eleanor Coppola.
Okay, cool. All right, well, yeah, that's a win. All right, dope. All right, next up we got Dominique Fishback from Judas and the Black Messiah will star alongside Samuel L. Jackson in The Last Days of Ptolemy Gray, Apple Studios adaptation of the best-selling novel by Walter Mosley. Jackson is starring as Ptolemy Gray, a 91-year-old man forgotten by his family, by his friends, and even by himself. On the brink of sinking even deeper into a lonely dementia, Gray experiences a seismic shift when he's given a tremendous opportunity to briefly regain his memories and use this precious and fleeting lunacy to solve his nephew's death and come to terms with his past. Fishback will star as Robin, a friend of the family who helps Ptolemy. Sounds like Apple TV going for the Oscars or going for the Emmys.
Yeah, big time. This seems like
this seems really big for Samuel L. Like really flexing his acting chops. Yeah. So this could be.
I don't think he made your list, but he didn't make my list. And
no, not this week.
Yeah, so Samuel L. is definitely someone who is really looking to like cement himself in this like greatest actor discussion.
Yeah, no, 100%. And speaking of the greatest actor discussion, another one, William Dafoe is in discussions to co-star in Starlight in Film 4's Poor Things, Yorgos Lanthimos' adaptation of Alistair's Gray novel. Emma Stone is in talks to star with Lanthimos on board to direct. The film will be a Victorian tale of love, discovery, and scientific dating. Poor Things tells an incredible story of Belle Baxter, a young woman brought back to life by an eccentric but brilliant scientist. It's unknown who Dafoe will play at this time in the film. This is basically like another version of Frankenstein.
Pretty much.
All right, cool. Whatever. Boom. This seems like a potential dud.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering like if Emma Stone is being brought back to life, is Dafoe going to play this
the
scientist, or is he playing something else? And if he's not playing the scientist, and the scientist is not played by one of your main named guys, like how much does that person have a role? And then, like, what is it more of Emma Stone, what she does with her second life?
Or is the director Yorgos Lanthimos playing the scientist?
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see. But this could be cool. The next story I'm actually excited about. Elizabeth Banks, look at you. You was complaining about Power Rangers. Now you got something good. You kept grinding. Now we're here.
Oh wait, what was it? Power Rangers or Charlie's Angels? She was.
Oh yeah, it was Charlie's Angels. You're right, Charlie's Angels, not Power Rangers. It was Charlie's Angels she was bitching about. But Elizabeth Banks has found her next directorial project with a bear-centric thriller that has Phil Lord and Chris Miller set to produce. The project is Cocaine Bear, which is inspired by events that took place in Kentucky in 1985. The true story, as reported in 1985 by the New York Times, was that a 175-pound black bear consumed the contents of a duffel bag filled with more than 70 pounds of cocaine that was dropped from an airplane by a local drug smuggler, Andrew Thornton. The bear was later found dead on an apparent drug overdose.
I assume that this is going to be an exaggeration.
I assume this bear is going to start killing people. Is the bear going to be animated? Or are they going to do a real bear?
It depends on how much money they're getting put into it, because you can do Revenant Bear, or you could do like
Bear.
CGI Bear.
Ted Bear. And make it a comedy. I'm just interested.
Oh wow, I didn't even think about that. That's a good point.
Like you could do like Ted Fozzie Bear style comedy, where he's doing cocaine a whole night, or you can make it serious where it's like a real bear doing cocaine and just starting killing people.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's going to be more of the latter. If you did go the comedy route, I don't think that they would do like a Ted or a Fozzie Bear, someone that's recognizable. Though
it'd be its own style. I'm just saying,
even though
that's the type that I would be.
An adult Muppets with Fozzie Bear, Raylan Coke would be really interesting, and something that the Muppets need to consider.
100%. Hit us up for the pitch.
Spoilers for Masked Singer watchers, but Kermit the Frog was unmasked today, so we know the Muppets are trying to come back.
Oh man, but that's all we got on Elizabeth Banks. I'm interested in this. Plus Phil Lord and Chris Miller. That's why I'm saying when the team just seems
it's got to be funny.
Comedy, yeah. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, I still think like if you took a real bear and did the whole cocaine thing and like made it a little bit menacing, you can still make it kind of funny. Like,
true.
Sort of like how you have those comedies where people die. I'm thinking more so like The Dead Don't Die with Adam Driver and Bill Murray, where like people are dying all around them, but they're still cracking jokes, kind of thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I don't know. Something like that.
It's just gonna be. We just gotta see the direction of it.
Now, one thing that I don't think will be very funny, just mainly because of my skepticism.
We can just boo the next two stories.
Nickelodeon has given the official series green light to SpongeBob SquarePants spinoff, The Patrick Star Show. Nick has ordered 13 episodes of the animated series centered on SpongeBob's best friend, Patrick Star, voiced by Bill Fagerbakke. Per Nickelodeon, The Patrick Star Show follows a younger Patrick Star living at home with his family, where he hosts his own show for the neighborhood from his television-turned-bedroom. His little sister, Squidina, works behind the scenes to make sure Patrick's show is always running smoothly, while his parents, Bunny and Cecil, and his Grandpat, each support Patrick in their own hilariously absurd ways. The Star's family's unpredictable adventures often inform, integrate, and sometimes even interfere with Patrick's TV show. But one thing is for sure, his bizarre life always makes for great television.
Steven Hillenburg said not to do this. He said not to do this. The creator of SpongeBob said, respect my wishes and leave my property alone once I'm dead. And Nickelodeon is just trampling all over that. He did not want them to do this.
No, I know SpongeBob isn't like, some stay the true canon, but like this doesn't work in the canon of SpongeBob. Well, neither does Camp Coral. So like that's the thing. Like all the stuff that they're doing with SpongeBob doesn't work within the canon that was laid out by SpongeBob. So it's just like
trash. What are you doing? Trash. They're just trying to make money, and I hope people don't support this. I really do, because the creators said before he died he didn't want any of this to happen. If I created something and I died, you better be damn sure I want people fighting for me, not to have my shit trampled on.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't work within the means. It's like if the Rugrats coming back or whatever, they decided that they were gonna do a Chucky Finster show where like Chucky was his age and like had nothing to do with anybody else and like just did his own thing.
Yeah, like it just makes no sense. So, trash. Boo Nickelodeon. This is a horrible decision.
Yeah. And then the next horrible decision.
They just shows they have no creative people. Like, go hire some new people, make new shows. Like, why are y'all sticking on these same things? That's why Cartoon Network has been better than y'all for decades. Because Cartoon Network is getting the young people and getting new people to make new stories. They're not making K&D 2. They're not making another Dexter. They tried Powerpuff Girls, but they realized that wasn't good. They made Craig of the Creek. They're making new shit. Nickelodeon has not made new shit in so long.
No, or not anything that anyone really cares about.
That pops because it's not good.
If you wanted to dive into SpongeBob and like do spin-offs and stuff like that, I think that they could have done, you just take little characters or like little bits that they did and like expand on it. And like you could do a show centric to like the King Neptune that was in the movie. You can do like a Larry the Lobster show, or like a show that's centered around like some of the side characters of SpongeBob. Like, you see Larry interact with like Pearl, or like, just like, Or or you could just do a Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy show. Like that's the one show I always thought that they could spin off and do. Like Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, the early years. Yeah.
No, 100%. It's just bad decisions by Nick because Patrick and SpongeBob were always best friends. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, and we've met Patrick's family before. He doesn't have a sister, doesn't have a grandfather. He didn't really know his mom and dad. The people that were represented in the show as his mom and dad were fake. So it's like
trash.
We've already explored Patrick's backstory.
Trash. Right. And the next one, I'm just perplexed by.
Yeah, this
one is trash. The next one, I'm just confused.
Yeah, we've talked about it before that they're doing the live action Powerpuff Girls on the CW. It's gritty, and
they don't want to be superheroes anymore, and they're just gritty.
Yeah, they found their 3 leads. Yana Peralt is someone that I couldn't even find on.
She's gonna be
IMDb.
Buttercup.
She's Buttercup. Chloe Bennet is gonna be Blossom, and Dove Cameron will be Bubbles, which I actually think is a good casting.
Chloe Bennet, I thought you were better than this girl. Why are you going to CW? Like I thought after Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. it was like time for you to blow up. Same for you, Dove Cameron. Aren't you sick of doing like Disney CW shit? Like I just thought they were better than this.
No, this is perfect for Dove Cameron. Like this is Dove Cameron's bag.
I thought Dove Cameron was gonna progress, Schubert. I'm not gonna lie. I thought she was gonna get out of this type of shit.
No, I mean,
but definitely Chloe Bennet.
Can you even name the stuff that Dove Cameron did in Channel Time? Exactly. So, like, this is perfect for Dove Cameron. I thought this was actually tremendously good casting on the part of the Powerpuff Girls to cast Dove Cameron in that role. But as Bubbles,
Chloe Bennet just like, what you doing, girl? You could
that was my first thought too. I was like, Chloe Bennet, like you were the star of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like you weren't even like a side character. Like,
bad.
What are you doing?
I just don't know. I'll watch the first episode to see how it is, but if it's anything like Supergirl, I'm turning that shit off fast.
Oh, it would be great if that's a compliment if it's Supergirl. I think it's gonna be worse.
Supergirl's the worst CW superhero show that ever existed.
Well, the first season was actually on CBS, which is why it's even worse because it went from CBS to CW because it was so bad.
It's either Supergirl or season 1 of Batwoman.
Yeah, probably season 1 of Batwoman is probably the worst.
Because Supergirl's really bad. But all right, next up we got Steven Spielberg is coming out to direct an untitled pick at Amblin Pictures that's loosely based on his childhood growing up in Arizona. Insiders say that Michelle Williams is in negotiations to be a role inspired by his mom, but with a separate and original voice.
What is the story?
I was just about to say the same thing. I don't like when people are making movies about themselves. Shia LaBeouf made sense. This does not.
And Shia LaBeouf's movie was not straight adaptation either. It was like, this is like a rough generalization of what my life was like. Loosely exaggerated. I just would
rather Steven Spielberg wait till he stopped making films or wait till he died, or I don't know. He shouldn't make the film about himself.
But I just don't ever remember hearing anything about Steven Spielberg that like made me think that was like, oh yeah, we need the Steven Spielberg biopic or like the Steven Spielberg.
The only thing that I know is didn't he like go on one of these sets and like back when you could like sneak into Hollywood and become a director?
Maybe.
Something like that. But other than that, like I don't know if this is interesting, but he's one of the best directors of all time he's top 5 of all time. He invented the blockbuster, so like.
And having got Michelle Williams to be a part of it would be pretty big because, like, when we get to the actresses, I mean, she's someone you got to put in the top 25 or consider.
She's up there, so I thought the same thing, Schubert. This thing just had me like, hey, perplexed. Like what? So
the same could be said with the next story. Honestly, you'll see once you read it.
Amazon Studios is in negotiation for Fuel, a pitch for an action vehicle movie for Lovecraft star Jurnee Smollett. Okay. She's attached to produce with Misha Green, the producer and executive producer and the showrunner for the Lovecraft. The script will be written by Cat Wood. The plan is to develop this as a vehicle for Smollett to play a wheelwoman, a fresh take on a familiar character. This film is an action-packed female empowerment story that will subvert the relationship between cars and masculinity. The heroine is a getaway driver who is coerced into working for a criminal and breaking all the rules she set out for herself. Why they have to put in that she's being coerced into working for it? Why couldn't she just be doing it? Why'd you have to be?
Yeah, see, like that's my thing. Like, I don't understand the coerce thing. I don't understand like what the female empowerment subvert between cars and masculinity means or anything. Like, If you just would have told me Journey Smollett is a getaway driver,
yeah, I'd have been in.
I'd have been in. That's all you need to say. I'm still gonna watch it
because like I love Misha Green. I love Journey Smollett Bell, but this is just too much into the log line. This is them just trying to be too PC,
cute?
too cutesy. Like, yeah, that's all it is. And it's like Journey Smollett Bell, getaway driver with Misha Green movie for Amazon. Over with, done. Watching it. We're still gonna watch it, but it's just like too much words in your press. And Amazon's usually better at press releases than this.
Yeah, I just didn't understand like why they were marketing it in this way. Like, the last sentence is all you need. The heroine is a getaway driver who is coerced into working for a...
You don't even have to have coerced. You could just say the heroine's a getaway driver who's working for a criminal and breaking all the rules she set out for herself. That's all you have to say.
Yeah.
Like the coerced thing, like we can find that out in the movie. You know what I mean? So, I don't know.
Sure.
But shout out to Journey Smollett Bell. I'm definitely going to check that out. But next up, it's time for the segment of the show where we suggest one movie or TV show that is coming out this week or that is out that we believe you guys should be watching. It's called Movie on the Rise. Movie on the Rise. Even though we don't say TV on the Rise, but Movie on the Rise sounds a lot better. But Schubert, what you got for us this week?
So as we filmed and filming this or whatever,
it was
South Park special has happened. So make sure you catch that. I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna watch it when we get done. And I'm excited about it. It's the vaccination special. So it's an hour long.
The quarantine.
Yeah.
And Butters is running the anti-mask or the anti-vaxxer group that's not wearing masks and is outside with signs, and Cartman's trying to get a stimulus. It just already looks hilarious.
Yeah, so definitely check that out. South Park needs to be back with a season. I don't know what they're doing.
They're just they're having a quarantine, so they're not able to make it like they normally do. So they're just doing one episodes at a time.
All right. And then the next thing I have is the Bachelor finale. The season is finishing up. Actually, it's one of these things where I'm telling you that it's coming up, and if you haven't been watching it, don't. And if you have, everyone rejoice, and it's finally over.
Is he just that girl?
Yeah, he is 100%.
The racist girl?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, geez. Are they together still?
No.
Oh, so they broke up after all this shit.
Obviously. Like, there's no way that he could have kept dating that girl.
This is just like you said.
It's just bad because like when you're watching it and you realize what happens, like the edit is all Rachel centric. Like I'm not saying that I agree with the way that Chris Harrison like said all of his stuff, but you can see like why he felt like he had to defend her, because like she was put in through the show as to be like the person you're supposed to care about, and everyone's watching it as like, we do not care about this chick at all. Like he sends so many like good girls home, and the
main criticism was there weren't enough black women too.
Oh no! I mean, in the top 4, 3 of them were black women.
Okay.
Or at least sort of. I mean, I think like out of all the hometowns, all the black women had white moms.
Yeah. Okay, so they're mixed. So it's one of those things. I see.
I mean, it's just one of those things.
Problematic season for the first Black Bachelor.
Yeah, I mean, I think they chose the wrong guy. Number one,
they should have chose Mike.
They should have chose Mike, and they just screwed up, man. Like it was just badly edited. The girls were terrible. Well, at least the white girls, honestly.
He said fucking whatchamacallit had to say that because it was edited bad. Oh shit! What were the white girls doing? Were the families bad? Wait, did he have to go to the racist girl's house?
No. I mean, they all came in there, and like the dad or whatever is actually a POC. Like he's like
racist girl?
He looks like a Mexican guy. Yeah.
Okay.
And so, like the main thing with them was that he was like a little weird. Like, it was just off because you already know all the things about Rachel, and you're just like, oh, well, these people are probably being fake.
Yeah.
And then like at the end, Rachel's like, you didn't ask my dad if I could marry you or whatever, and he's like, yeah, I'll do that like later. Which is pretty. Which I actually agree with him for that. He was like, I'm not going to go into every one of these 4 hometown meetings and be like, is it okay if I marry your daughter when like I'm only marrying one of you? So like I can feel like I can call them later.
Yeah. No,
I completely agree with that. But like the big thing with the Bachelor moving forward is that they were really going fast and doing a Bachelorette season, and so they picked the 11th place finisher, Katie. And there was huge backlash on that all week about that because like 11th place, white chick. There's so many good POCs that they could have chose from. The person who's going to finish runner up, Michelle, is an absolute gem. Reality Steve comes out today. They're filming The Bachelorette with Katie. Then they're filming Bachelor in Paradise. And then in the summer, they're going to do another Bachelorette season with Michelle
Young.
Yes. And so like that eases everyone a little bit because like Katie's going to be a compelling Bachelorette. I think that she was one of the heroes of the season. And then or Michelle or Katie?
Both of them. But yeah, they're both pretty. But like
and Michelle and Michelle's main thing was I wanted to do a Bachelorette season filmed in the summer because I didn't want to miss out with my students because she's a teacher, which makes complete sense.
Oh, okay. Now I'm seeing Michelle. They had a bad picture of her on the thing. Michelle's gorgeous too. All right.
Yeah, she was a college athlete, played women's basketball at Bradley.
Okay, yeah, they're both gorgeous. What's Rachel Lindsay talking about? Rachel Lindsay claims that the biopic, the people of color cast for Bachelorette are quitting before filming.
Oh yeah, that's the man, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess just portrayals, and I mean like. Especially if you're gonna be casting Katie season and you'd rather be in Michelle season, like even though like Katie obviously doesn't have anything against black man. I mean,
yeah, it's not she's not Rachel.
Yeah, so I don't really understand.
Also, how do you feel about Emmanuel Acho replacing Chris? It's weird, bro. You from Speak for Yourself.
Well, that's just for the.
Trying to be black Oprah.
That's just for the finale. So I mean, I don't know if that's like a for sure thing. I think that. In my personal opinion, I think it would be best if you picked a woman to do the Bachelorette and you picked a man to do the Bachelor.
Okay, I agree with that.
So like that's what I'm hoping that they end up doing, and then
let JoJo or Rachel Lindsay do it for the Bachelorette.
Sure. But for me, I'm a big supporter of the push for Michael Strahan to be the host of the Bachelor. I would love that.
That's your Giants thing coming. I'm going for Emmanuel Acho, man. That dude's trying to be male black Oprah, and I'm with it.
I hope he does a really good job on After the Final Rose. It's definitely
going to be tense. He might get it. Yeah, it's going to be hella tense.
It's going to be hella tense.
But he's used to hosting 10 shows. Like he hosts that show where white people and black people sit together. So like he can do it. So, and my movie on the rise this week is a show that I have fallen in love with over the time period of doing this show. Paradise PD is back for season 3. It's the Nuclear Wasteland season. I'm ready. I hope they figure a way to get us out of this nonsense. Because like
I don't even remember how it ended.
With the betrayer of how the black cop was the betrayer and how he started the legion of villains and they nuked the town.
Yeah.
No, Paradise PD season 3 is gonna be crazy. I'm ready for that.
One of the better Netflix animated comedies they have. I'd say them and Big Mouth.
It's them, Big Mouth. That's it because it's better than Disenchantment. Disenchantment let me down so much, but you were right on Disenchantment. You said season 1 was mad, and I was like, nah, it's pretty good. Season 2 just showed how mad it really was.
Yeah, they just didn't have anything to build off.
No, Matt Groening didn't have it.
Let's move into so we're going to talk about WandaVision because we're saving Frank Grillo for next week, huh?
Bro, WandaVision was a legitimate 6 or 7 overall. 6 or 7 out of
overall.
10.
That's not bad.
6 or 7 out of 10. I think everybody who's hyping it up, it did not live up to my expectations. And I'm not talking about the speculations. I'm talking about just moving the MCU on. It moved Wanda's character forward, but it did not move the MCU forward. And it just feels like we were kind of lied to in a sense.
I don't know.
And it doesn't make sense if I'm being honest. And I know I wanted Doctor Strange. I know that's speculation, but to me, it makes no sense that this is happening in New Jersey and Doctor Strange is the Sorcerer Supreme and he's not mentioned once and he doesn't come once. Come on, Schubert, that makes no sense.
No, that's a fair criticism, but my thought process on WandaVision as it goes with the MCU I think it was necessary to do this in order to give you an idea of what's going on with Wanda, how we're pushing her forward into the next element, because she's got to move off this Vision thing. Now she's moved off. So we've gotten that situated, and we've also learned a lot more about her. So now she's a character that you actually give a shit about. Like, honestly, I didn't care about Scarlet Witch before WandaVision.
True.
So like now I actually have a reason to like be invested in the character. I think this more so pushes along a lot of things that they're going to be doing on the TV side with the lesser characters.
Yeah,
I think we're going to see more Jimmy Woo. I think this helped establish him as more of a piece moving forward.
He was my favorite character in the whole series, and I really want them to give him an Agents of Atlas show because he leads a superhero special agent team,
which they could easily do later down the line. Now that they've said that and established the post-credit scene with Monica Rambeau.
Love that. She was my second favorite character. No,
he was my favorite.
Her and Jimmy Woo were tied. I like them both equally. I love Monica, and she got wasted in the finale. Wasted. And it's just like, I think this is WandaVision's story, but you don't introduce her, and the only thing you let her do is get shot.
Yeah.
What? Like, the only black character in the show is getting shot? All right, whatever. Cool. We don't even get to see her use her. We don't even get to see none of that. Come on, Schubert. That finale was a letdown, and I know it was a letdown because the fucking showrunner is out there doing press runs, like just what's the word I'm looking for? Damage controlling her fucking show, just saying, "Oh no, this is what we wanted. This is what we meant." You shouldn't have to say that if you have a good show. Fucking True Detective season 1 creators aren't coming out and explaining their choices. They're just saying, "Yeah, we did the damn thing."
But the thing is like, their choices. The true detective creators didn't have to go in there and be like, "Oh yeah, this person." Everyone's telling you that Reed Richards is going to show up, Doctor Strange is going to show up. Speculation. That was what hindered this show. Like if the show was able to do what it wanted to do on its own and not have to worry about like the idea of more cameos coming in, like would have probably been better received. But it fell flat for a lot of people's expectations. It is what it is. I mean, at the end of this, I feel like I learned a lot about Wanda and I feel like she's now gotten over the Vision thing.
They didn't even do Vision, right? Like, you have so many more questions. Why don't what is Vision? Is Vision alive? Is Vision dead? What's up with the White Vision? Like but White Vision just went off. He's alive and she lives inside of her, and she lives inside of Wanda, part of the Mind Stone that's in her. So there's just so many questions that's like you didn't even answer these things. The kids, what's up with them? Were they figments? Are they real? She hears them at the end. Is that from another dimension? It was just too much stuff that like they had too many ideas, big ideas that they didn't even get to flesh out. This series, we always talk about how shows should be shortened to like 9 to 10 episodes. This might have needed to be 13.
Maybe because I mean the first 3 were wastes.
Trash. I understand you're doing this cool like, oh yeah, we're gonna travel throughout TV history, but like it should be story before Flash. It should be story before the extra shit. And it feels like this show was all about the extra shit, and they just tried to make a story to fit it.
Yeah. So when it comes to thinking about what this is going to do in the future of the MCU, for me, Wanda's role in the universe, the multiverse of madness,
it's huge.
I think she's going to meet up with her kids again in a different multiverse. Like that's how I think it's going to happen. That's how I think that they come back.
Yeah, they're definitely.
Hell, maybe Vision comes back too. I don't know.
Vision might come back as Wonder Man. That's what I'm thinking. Because also, you don't give up. This is another thing I have a problem with. You don't give a behind the scenes thing and show all these pictures of all this cool shit, and none of the shit happened. None of the shit happened. You have a picture of Wonder Man right behind the show creator. None of the shit happens. Like, you put the expectations on yourself. There's a picture of Doctor Strange and Wanda in the behind the scenes. You put the expectations on yourself. I'm sorry, Schaefer, you didn't make a good show. You made an okay show in the MCU. An okay show at best. You know what's going to be the best show in the MCU? Next week. See, next Friday? Sure. Yeah. It's going down. I'm so excited for Falcon Winter Soldier because they're not promising me anything. You know what they're promising me? A good spy story.
And really,
I don't need any cameos. I don't need shit.
Yeah, exactly. There's really no cameos that need to be thought of or put in.
Give me Baron von Zucker or what the fuck is his name?
Yeah. Him. And then we get Sharon Carter.
That's all I need.
Who at this point, have you ever thought about this with Sharon Carter? Sharon Carter is Peggy Daughter's what?
Her
granddaughter or daughter or something?
It's her something.
It's her
like
niece,
that.
right?
Sharon Carter. I think that's the. Well, let's see. I think that's the niece.
Okay, well, never mind then. Because my whole thought process I was thinking of was like, wait, so if Sharon Carter is related to Peggy Carter and Captain America goes back in time and gets back with Peggy, then what is Sharon Carter to Captain America? And doesn't he sleep with her?
Hold on, I'm about to find out. Sharon Carter is Sharon Carter Captain America? No, Sharon Carter was originally Peggy Carter's younger sister. Yeah, she's her grandniece in the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're right. If she was, then she would be 100%. This show's gonna have Baron Zemo hype. It's gonna have fucking Batroc, George St. Pierre from Civil War's coming back. You got Sharon Carter, Anthony Mackie, Bucky, Sebastian Stan, and apparently this show's gonna introduce either young Black Captain America or Amanda Chavez, which is America Girl, the Latino Captain America. So like this show is everything they promised us. I'm okay with. WandaVision promised us more shit than we expected. This is the lead into Multiverse of Madness. This is getting us to the multiverse. You didn't even get us to the multiverse. All you explained was witches.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And like I know people have been like,
it's been a good commentary the setup for Agatha Harkness to be like the big bad was not there. It was she was there to be a bad.
She's set up to be a mentor and someone, not necessarily a mentor, but someone that Wanda can go. She's basically Anthony Hopkins to Wanda's
Jodie Foster?
Jodie Foster and thing. Like, you know how Jodie Foster goes talk to Anthony Hopkins to solve the murders? I feel like that's what Wanda's going to do. I will say they had a great Fight Club homage when Wanda and Vision are standing and they shoot them from the back and we see the hex closing in on them in the last episode. That's the homage to Fight Club when all the buildings are burning and blowing up in Fight Club when Edward Norton and Bellatrix Lestrange are standing there holding hands looking at it.
Gotcha. But yeah, my thing on WandaVision that I'm thinking of with that post-credit scene with Monica Rambeau is that she's might be
Captain Marvel too.
Well, yeah, she's the main player of Captain Marvel too, but she also could be someone that appears in Secret Wars.
Or you're talking about Secret Invasion, the TV show.
Yeah, Secret Invasion.
Yeah, she definitely will be. They said he though, and I was thinking Captain Marvel. But when they said I was thinking either Nick Fury or Talos, the head, the Skrull that we all know. It's probably
either one.
Yeah, and I'm glad that white guy from SWORD got arrested. Get his ass. Yeah. He was shooting at kids. What's wrong with that guy?
Yeah.
It's like, whoa. I was just like, yo, this dude's just shooting at the kids. And then Monica jumped in front, and then he kept shooting. He was still trying to shoot. I was like, this guy's off his rocker. Another problem. He made no sense. He made no sense.
Yeah, he was a bad dude. And I think like it only worked for WandaVision in a way where the week that he premiered on his episode was the night before he's on Law and Order being like a ruthlessly evil dude. I was just like, I just watched Law and Order and I'm like, oh, this dude's so bad. And then I turn on WandaVision the next day. I'm like, is that same fucking dude? Get the fuck out of here.
That's what I'm saying. The show was all right at best, bro. And everybody's talking about like, oh, the MCU finally explored grief. We're talking about grief. Go watch Dark Knight. Go watch Batman.
Endgame. Infinity War.
But I will say they hand the best. And if you want to talk about grief, the best showing of grief in this whole fucking show was not Wanda. It was Monica Rambeau coming back from the snap. That was the best grief thing. That was it. That was the real thing. And Wanda was cool. I like she got her costume, but I'm giving this show a 6, man. I have a lot of problems with it. Ralph turned out to be Pietro. What a fucking letdown. Boo. The fucking guy for SWORD sucked. His storyline made no sense. Darcy just ran a fucking truck into him. Like, she wouldn't have been arrested for that shit. Like,
well, I feel like that was kind of a waste on her. Like, I don't think that they needed that. It would have been better if Monica would have just beat him.
Useless. They didn't know what they were doing, bro. That just goes back to my point about how this show is not good. It was a 6. Guaranteed Falcon Winter Soldier. Shit, Loki's definitely better than this.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And I think we're gonna see Loki and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness because there's this panel where all the magic users are battling together, Loki, Scarlet Witch, and Doctor Strange, and I think that's going to happen. They're big into doing shots like that. I did think Agatha Harkness's line about how you're stronger, that you're going to be stronger than the Sorcerer Supreme was interesting. But why do you say that and he doesn't appear? Again, problems. You're telling me Wanda's going to have this big ass rune in the sky and Doctor Strange is not going to feel the magic of that? Issues, bro. That's just a big issue. Like, I thought all the Reed Richards stuff was, I even said on the show, like, yeah, that would be cool, but they're not going to introduce Reed Richards in a WandaVision episode. Doctor Strange should have happened. Even if you didn't even bring Doctor Strange, Baron Mordo, like Trutor Ejiofor, dude is on a hunt looking for magic and looking for people who are abusing magic. That's his whole thing. Why was he not there at the end to get Agatha Harkness? I just have issues. I just have issues, bro.
I don't know. But you know, I didn't hate the span of what 9 weeks that we had to watch WandaVision.
It was interesting. It gave us something to do. I'm not gonna say I hated the weeks either.
I think it was one. At least maybe it didn't push along the MCU like you would have liked, but now we're back in it and moving into Falcon Winter Soldier. Now after a year hiatus, I feel like I'm back into the world of the MCU.
The ending felt like I was in the MCU. I will say the fight between Wanda and Agatha was great. I won't lie about that. I thought the Vision fight was anticlimactic, but I did love him being like talking to him, and now the memes of where they put the dashiki on Vision and they're like, my white brother, you don't know what's going down. I just thought that was awesome.
The memes for Vision have been pretty great.
Our Vision with the chain with his thing, just like, yeah, my bitch is a bad bitch. I loved all the Vision memes, bro. I loved them all. Because people are saying, Vision's black, bro. He's made of vibranium, which comes from Wakanda. Vision's a black man. So
that works.
Even though his programming is Jarvis, a British guy that was created by Tony Stark.
What's Idris Elba? British. There you go.
Think about it. Not connecting the dots. Now let's talk about this. MCU TV compared to Star Wars TV. I think Mandalorian season 1, even though people had issues with it, was better than this.
Yeah.
No, you're not denying that at all. Ian would say otherwise. Ian did not like Mandalorian season 1.
No, he did not. But I mean, like the Mandalorian season 1,
I felt like
it was great.
Left me more satisfied than this. Like Mandalorian season 1 didn't leave any loose ends, didn't leave anything untied. Like I felt like everything was tied pretty tightly.
Sure.
For the most part.
And it really didn't like.
It didn't make you.
It wasn't like super dependent on cameos.
Yep.
I almost think that season 2 was a little bit more dependent on it than anything else, but it worked because they're great at what they do. But yeah, I mean, like the big, I guess, cameo of the first season was the Darksaber.
Yeah, it was, and I loved it, and it was great, and like that's what this show lacked. This show, if it would have been okay, no cameos, let us know that. Like just be like, yeah. But when you come out and say this is supposed to be the direct lead into the Multiverse of Madness, and you don't execute that, if you just said this introduces witches and magic into the MCU fully, I'd have bought in. But even then, if you introduce magic, how doesn't the strongest magic person in the universe not know about it? I have issues with that. He knew Loki. Dr. Strange felt when Loki came into Earth, and that's why he went go get him in Ragnarok. You telling me he doesn't feel Wanda making this big hex thing is making the Darkhold, which this magic text was written about her, which is she's the person that was forged from magic, not born from magic, and she has this strong hex shit? Tell me Dr. Strange doesn't realize that? Come on, bro. Don't lie. Y'all made a bad show. It was all right. Now Falcon Winter Soldier, I'm hyped for.
Y'all made a bad show.
They did, bro. It was a 6. I'm not even giving it a 7. It was a 6. But let's get to it. Top 25 actors.
All right.
20. We're doing 25. Schubert was like, we're not doing 5 because Schubert told me it was 6 really. So 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, and 20.
Yeah. So you said you had 3 at 25, so you might as well go first.
Yeah. Let me be okay. So everybody's gonna be mad because they know I always do this. I always break the rules. But this is my explanation for this. They're like, why don't you put them higher or take them off? I feel that these people are all congruent to be in the 25th spot. I feel that they're no better than 25, no less than 25. And I'm not copping out by putting 3 people there. I just feel like these 3 people are the 25th best actors of all time. Number 1, and let me preface this is my comedy. This is where I give an ode to comedy. Robin Williams.
Oh, trash.
Eddie Murphy. Will Smith at 25.
What is wrong with you in comedy? You don't think, especially for Eddie Murphy, yeah, I understand, but Robin Williams has done dramatic roles, right?
I know he has.
You know that they've been great. Incredible, right?
I know they have. I understand they have. My girlfriend got mad at me for this, but I feel that the actors I have above this are better than Robin Williams, better than Eddie Murphy, and better than Will Smith. Will Smith is the blockbuster guy. Will Smith, and look, I love Fresh Prince. I love all the things that Will Smith does, but Will Smith is very one note. Will Smith plays a collection of 3 people. He plays the Pursuit of Happiness, 7 Pounds Will Smith. He plays comedic badass Will Smith, Men in Black, Boys, Bad Boys. I'd even say Fresh Prince is the start of that. Wild Wild West. And then he plays the badass that's slightly misunderstood but still good. I'm Legend, I, Robot, Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
That's the 3 he plays. And he couldn't, as great as Will Smith is, I don't think he's the best of actors. I think he just has really big movies. And when I rated this, his movie star slider was through the roof. But his great acting, his difference in performances, the switching roles thing, I felt like he had to be there. Robin Williams was the only person I was struggling with not putting higher. But I had to put him here because I feel like every actor I have later is better than Robin Williams. And Eddie Murphy
there's a lot of the actors you're going to say after Robin Williams that could make you cry in a role, but they probably couldn't make you laugh, and Robin Williams could do both.
I understand that, Shuby. I understand that. And look, the reason why I have Eddie here as well, there's no run better than this, in my opinion, in comedy. When you go from 48 Hours, Trading Places, Beverly Hills Cop, Coming to America, Harlem Nights, Boomerang, and then I think that might be the end of it. Yeah, and then then you take a little break, then you go Nutty Professor, Mulan, Shrek, Dr. Dolittle. Eddie Murphy's a comedic.
Yeah, that's one of the things that you can definitely say when we're going through this is like if they can span decades. Like there were some people that I was looking into, I was like, okay, well they had a really great 2010s, but they fell off in the middle. And they also
Eddie Murphy has a lot of duds. Yeah. That's another thing that's with mine. These people that in 25 have duds. That's another thing. Will Smith duds. Eddie Murphy duds. Robin Williams has duds too. But like Robin Williams is so great. I wanted to put him higher, but I just couldn't. He is one of those dudes that history will appreciate him. He will be looked upon as great, but it's just there's people a little bit better than him, in my opinion. So that's my 25. Who you got at 25?
Will Smith.
Nice. Nice. Fresh Prince, man. Iconic TV show. Will Smith has some iconic
it really is even for that. I mean, it's just like if I think about some of my favorite movies that have ever existed, Independence Day, Wild Wild West, I, Robot.
Similar thing to with him and
Men in Black. Yeah.
How him and Robin Williams go on runs. Will Smith's run is as follows. He goes from Fresh Prince to like, all right, now we're doing movies. So after Fresh Prince, he comes out with Independence Day, Men in Black. He does
Wild Wild West.
No. He does Independence.
Enemy of the State.
Wait, hold on. He does Fresh Prince, Bad Boys, Independence Day, So Fresh Prince, Bad Boys, Independence Day, Enemy of the State,
Men
in Black, Wild Wild West. That's an crazy 5 movie run. Insane.
Well, the issue though is that a lot of people say that Wild Wild West is the Razzie winner.
Yeah, but you know me and you love Wild Wild West. So
yeah, and then he comes back the next year or 2 years later to play Ali, which is may not have been the greatest.
Might not have been the best movie, but showing, that was his attempt at and that's my thing. Every time he attempts it, it's okay. But like switch out Denzel with Will Smith and Ali, great movie. Switch out Jamie Foxx with Bad Boys. I think it works maybe even a little bit better. You switch out Jamie Foxx, Men in Black. I think it works. Like you can switch out Jamie Foxx Denzel for most of the Will Smith roles, and they still work, or they may be better. That's why Will Smith at the bottom of the list.
Yeah, and I think Will Smith, his more recent stuff has just been a little bit hard on him.
Trash.
So,
all right, the next guy I got, I'm paying an ode to Latino American culture. I'm going Javier Bardem, 24. Skyfall, No Country for Old Men, The Seaside, beautiful. Javier Bardem is just one of the best. I can get you sucked in and make you scared of everything that I'm doing. No Country for Old Men is arguably one of the best performances as a villain of all time. And then you have The Counselor. He's great in that. You have Collateral, small role, but he's still great in that. Javier Bardem is one of those actors that is one of the best villains of all time that doesn't get enough love. Between Skyfall and No Country for Old Men, it's a tour de force of acting. But people are going to be like, Robin Williams has had more movies, it's better than that. But the thing is, the two movies that Javier Bardem had, I don't know if you can tell me an acting performance that Robin Williams did better than that, but that's just my opinion. That's why I have Javier Bardem at 24.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have Javier Bardem this low.
You got him higher?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, real. The reason why I don't have him higher, Schubert, is because of the amount of movies he has.
I mean, the six that I'm going to name are the ones that I have at like the bottom tier, and then everything else is a little bit higher. 24 for me, this is definitely a name I don't expect you to have, Morgan Freeman.
No, Morgan Freeman.
He's one of my character actors, supporting actors. I feel like there's a lot of movies that
I don't know if he's even make my list.
That's what I'm saying. That he's really elevated. His role in $1 Million Baby, his role in Seven, playing Nelson Mandela in Invictus.
He's great.
Playing God in Bruce Almighty. He's being the VP in the Fallen movies. There's just a lot of movies that when he pops in, he elevates it. Playing Lucius Fox.
Yep. Funny enough, I have a character actor that's similar to Morgan Freeman, but I think he's just a tad bit better. But he's coming later, and you're gonna be like, "What? You have him this low?"
And I mean, even farther back into the '80s, you have like Glory and Driving Miss Daisy, and so he's had a stretch.
No, 100%. All right. Next up, I have, so that's your 24. My 23. This is the newest-ish actor I have on my list. Mahershala Ali. I had to put Mahershala on here because he is a 2-time Best Supporting Oscar winner, which only one other person has done in history. When you look at his run, he goes House of Cards. Like I'm talking big runs because I'm not talking about his NYPD shit or any of that other shit. He was in House of Cards. He was in Treme. He was in Free State of Jones, Moonlight, Luke Cage, Hidden Figures, Green Book, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Alita Battle Angel, True Detective, Rami, and now he's about to be in Blade. I think, and he was the villain in Luke Cage. I think what Mahershala Ali shows is a depth of, I can play multitude of different people. I can be serious. I can be menacing. I can be emotional, touching. I can be everything you need in one. And I think when it's all said and done, Mahershala Ali will move past this 23rd spot. I think Mahershala Ali has potential to get in anywhere between, I think Mahershala Ali will be in the top 15 when it's all said and done. Because what he did in Green Book, but no, let me not even use Green Book. What Mahershala Ali did in Moonlight was beautiful. Mahershala Ali damn near made me want to cry in Moonlight. In the way he loved that kid and showed that kid so much love, and was just a thing that Black people needed to see about the gay community. It was something that needed to be said, needed to be seen, and I absolutely love Mahershala Ali. And his role in True Detective is very slept on. It's arguably up there with Matthew McConaughey in the sense of how good it was, and I'm ecstatic to see him in Blade.
Yeah, Mahershala Ali, someone I'll talk about later, not today.
I understand that you did why you did it. Like I said, he's a 2-time Best Supporting Actor, and I had to put him on the list. He's the youngest person I have, like in the sense of like eras. This is his era.
Eras.
Yeah.
I got you. Where are we at? 23?
Yeah, 23.
23 for me is Johnny Depp.
Okay. Depster didn't make my list.
a guy rooted in scandal off screen, which goes back to what we forgot to mention early on, is
Yeah,
that
we gotta talk about
Kevin
this.
Spacey won't be on either one of our lists, even though
he would be.
Yeah, if
and
he
he
had,
would be probably high on both of our lists because we both love Usual Suspects. We both love LA Confidential. What he did in Seven.
Baby Driver.
You cannot deny how good of an actor Kevin Spacey is, but he's a creep and too much of just a shitty human, so we excluded him from the list.
Yeah, Johnny Depp squeaks into this for me. He was able to carry a franchise like Pirates of the Caribbean. Granted, a lot of those movies weren't
Oscar
the
nominated
best.
for Jack Sparrow.
But yeah, Oscar nominated for Jack Sparrow. Sweeney Todd, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He's had some iconic roles, but then can do things like Black Mass, where he plays Whitey Bulger, or being into a musical like Into the Woods, doing Blow, being the Lone Ranger, voicing Rango.
Back to that dud thing. He has a lot of duds.
He does have a lot of duds. That's definitely an issue for him, but he does have a pretty high end, and especially when you go into he's just been in a lot of iconic movies, and then also launched that Jump Street era in TV, and has changed the game for old looking people in high school. But yeah, so Johnny Depp is for me at 23.
All right.
Couldn't put him any higher.
Now we're at 22. This is another one that I don't know where you're going to put this guy, but he had to make my list. Matt Damon. Matt Damon comes in at 22 for me. When you think of Matt Damon, you think of a guy that can do action. You think of a guy that is this guy that showed, oh yeah, I'm Jason Bourne. But when you think about it, Matt Damon has shown his range from Talented Mr. Ripley to The Martian. He's been a villain in Interstellar, Good Will Hunting, his start. Matt Damon has shown that he can play multiple different guys, even to his latest film of Ford versus Ferrari. In playing Carroll Shelby, we saw his vulnerability in that. We saw his sadness, we saw his angst, and then back to his action roles with seeing Jason Bourne and True Grit when he was LaBouffe. Matt Damon is not only a good character actor, but a leading man. You see him in The Departed. There's just so much good stuff about Matt Damon. He's so versatile that he had to be on this list. He does Oscar stuff, he does character actor stuff, and he does leading man stuff. And I'd say some of my favorite Matt Damon performances have to be in The Martian. It would have to be Jason Bourne. And it would have to be, I would say Carroll Shelby from Ford versus Ferrari. I'd say Mark Watney from The Martian. And I would say, I guess, Talented Mr. Ripley are his best performance.
Love that movie.
So Matt Damon had to make the list. And it might be too low for him, but I'm just happy he made my list.
Yeah, that's a name that I don't know where he stands in my. Well, no, I mean, I don't know where he stands in my. Now that I think about that name, I'm like, well, maybe I need to move some things around. But for me at 23 or 22, I have Matthew McConaughey.
I don't know if he's gonna make my list. I need to think about that.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to make a lot of people's lists. He does have a lot of stinkers, but he started his career up with like Dazed and Confused. He's in the best True Detective season that there is. More so recently of what he's been able to do is why I have him and where I have him.
The McConaughey.
Interstellar, White Boy Rick, he did a phenomenal job in. The Gentleman, he did a good job in. He's been able to voice some pretty big movies like Sing and Kubo and the Two Strings. His role in Wolf of Wall Street, while short-lived, is one of the most memorable scenes. Being in Magic Mike, Mud, Dallas Buyers Club. A lot of his most recent decade has been phenomenal for him and his career. So that's where I have him. Where I have him.
I'm not mad at that.
So he's someone that I feel like is doing no wrong at the moment.
The McConaughey is real.
Why you put Mahershala Ali where you put him? That's where I kind of feel with Matthew McConaughey.
Well, I mean Matthew McConaughey, 100%. All right, this next one might hurt my boy Shuby's heart, but I got to do it. This is number 21. I have Harrison Ford. I feel like Harrison Ford is iconic. He has that Will Smith thing where he's a blockbuster guy, but I think he's a better actor than Will Smith. and it's just undeniable when you're Indiana Jones, Han Solo, and basically in all of these spy movies and all of these action movies, like I'm trying to see where's the name of it. I forget. Air Force One, where you're in The Fugitive, where you're in as Jack Ryan. You're the first Jack Ryan, and you can make me believe each of those roles and be Rick Deckard, and I don't see any of the other people in those roles. That shows you're an amazing actor. But like I said, he's usually playing the same guy. We don't ever see Harrison Ford as a villain too much, and that's why I have him this low. But he's an incredible, incredible actor and one of those most iconic actors of all time. But 21, I couldn't go any higher for him.
All right. 21 and 20 are really interesting ones for me, and they kind of could go either way. Mm-hmm. So I've kind of been fighting about that, but I'm going to choose to do it this way. 21 for me is going to be Brad Pitt.
Oh, the disrespect to BP. I got him higher.
I know.
Oh, man, that breaks my heart, but I got some of your people low too, so I'm not tripping.
Yeah, I think we'll probably end up flipping Brad Pitt for Harrison Ford at some point. I don't know how high you have Brad Pitt, but I mean, he's done some big stuff. I love his work in Burn After Reading and Glorious Bastards, Moneyball, and of course, most recently, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where he was a award winner. Mm-hmm. So, I feel like he's done a lot of really great stuff. What my drawback for Brad Pitt for me is that there's a lot of stuff that he's done that I just have no interest in watching. Ad Astra being one of those.
I watch it because I'm a Brad Pitt guy. I got season tickets to Brad Pitt. Every movie I'm watching, and as much as I didn't like Ad Astra, he was phenomenal in it.
There's like a lot of things that like you're like, oh, Brad Pitt was in that, and you
Troy.
Like,
I'm gonna big up Troy.
Well, Troy is big on me. I have it in my box back here. Like Troy's a good one. But
I just love that Brad Pitt's so versatile, and he's so good looking that he tries his hardest to subvert you from the fact that he's good looking. Like in I don't know if you've ever seen this. You're not a big Western guy. The Assassination of Jesse James. Just what he did in True Romance, being the pothead stoner. There's just so many good Brad Pitt roles, but I'm glad he made it.
No, you know what? You moved him back up because I had him at 20 and I was thinking about moving him back. I'm putting him back at 20. So he'll be back. He'll be back at 20 for me, and I'll say who 21 is when we get there.
All right, nice. Brad Pitt's not back at 20. Well, no, we're at 21.
We're at 20. 21. No, I just 21. Did 21. Yeah.
You said you moved Brad Pitt back up.
Yeah. So okay, well then we'll just skip me for 20. And I'll say who my 21 is. It's Keanu Reeves.
Oh, interesting. He didn't make shoot. What are you doing? Brad Pitt's above Keanu Reeves. Oh my god.
Yeah, he's at least above Keanu Reeves, but I'm doing my just research and Keanu Reeves is a name that keeps like sticking in the back of my head. I'm like, man, I love his fucking movies. And I was reading a New York Times article, and it was like talking about the actors of the decade, and they made a point on Keanu Reeves. I think he was like 15 on their list, but it was a mixed list. And the point that they made in this article was, can you name one film that is not improved by the presence of Keanu Reeves? I was like, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of movies that are bad, but I don't think it has to do with him.
That's true.
So when it comes to his films, the Bill and Ted movies, except the third one because that was trash. Point Break, great movie, incredible movie. I love him in Speed. He does a great job playing Don John in Much Ado About Nothing. The Matrix, Neo, iconic. Mm-hmm. The Replacement, Shane Falco, one of my favorite sports movies ever. And another great sports movie he did, Hardball, it shows like his big dramatic range. And then the little bits and pieces he comes in, even if he has a small role, like in that movie, the Netflix movie, Always Be My Maybe, he commands the screen, and being able to take franchises and have them big across eras. You have Matrix that was big in the early 2000s. Then you have the John Wicks that are big in the 2010s.
Yeah, Point Break in the 80s. or early
Point
90s.
Break in 1990. So I mean, he's just had a great range of work, and everything that he's been in, he commands the screen, and like you really um, love to see Keanu Reeves in there. You know, even his voice acting in Toy Story 4, like Duke Kaboom was a pretty big character in that movie. So I don't know. I mean, when I saw that phrase, "Can you name one film that is not improved by the presence of Keanu Reeves?" Can't really think of it. I can't really think of any. I think he's the best part of Constantine.
That's a fact. Now, this next one, some people are going to think might be disrespectful. But again, I'm taking into consideration acting skill, impact. I'm taking, if you replace this person and replace them with someone else, I'm taking movie star status and the types of movies they do. And even though these next two people's acting ability may be up, their other stats are down. These two are character actors, but the best character actors. I have Philip Seymour Hoffman and Gary Oldman at number 20 tied.
That makes sense Gary that you did it that way,
but I just couldn't.
It makes sense that you did it that way, because I think I'm gonna end up leaving them off my list just because of the fact that they're like so tight like that I just couldn't figure out a way to piece them in there.
And I had to put them in. I feel like it would be disrespectful if I didn't. Now let's talk about Gary Oldman first. If you
he does a lot of things.
He's a chameleon.
Yeah, he's a chameleon in the sense that he's in a movie and you don't know it's him.
Exactly. And from The Dark Knight to The Fifth Element to The Book of Eli to
Harry Potter.
I did not know he was Sirius Black for the longest time. I'm trying to see to Hannibal, to, like I said, The Fifth Element, to True Romance, when he's playing this fucking drug dealer with dreads and he's like, "What's up, man? What's up? What's up?" And it's just, there's no better character actor than Gary Oldman. And he finally won an Oscar for his lead role as Winston Churchill in The Darkest Hour. He had Good Love with Mank. He's finally becoming a leading man. But I just feel like he's the best character actor next to Philip Seymour Hoffman. Rest in peace. In Capote, The Master, Charlie Wilson's War, Before the Devil Knows. This guy, when he's on the screen, he is menacing. If you remember him in the Mission Impossible 3, he is menacing. Where Schubert says that, and I agree with Schubert, where Schubert was talking about how Gary Oldman, you don't recognize him. No, Philip Seymour Hoffman, you recognize him. But the thing is, you recognize his aura and his presence. But each character that he is, he embodies it, whether it's comedy in Moneyball, where he's the cop, he's the drunken cop, whether it's serious, he's a villain in Mission Impossible 3, or whether he's this likable guy in Truman Capote. No matter what he plays, he is always phenomenal. Magnolia, Talented Mr. Ripley. This guy should be higher. But the thing is, he's such a character actor that I can't put him any higher. But both of these two dudes need love and praise because they're some of the best actors of all time. And this is why Robin Williams is 25. He's not better than Philip Seymour Hoffman. He is not better than Gary Oldman. This is why these two dudes are incredible. They are, when I think of acting chops and when I think of people that just embody their roles and just dive into them, I think of these two guys.
You're making me want to say that we should, when we do a running back poll, we should throw Talented Mr. Ripley in there.
We can. It's a great movie. I love it.
That's a seriously phenomenal movie. And you named two guys that definitely make a big part of that. Philip Seymour Hoffman and R.I.P. and Gary Oldman, definitely two big time character actors.
Yep. So these are our 25 through 20. Schubert, give your 25 through 20 one more time.
Oh, okay. Will Smith is 25. 24 was Morgan Freeman. 23 was Johnny Depp. 22 was McConaughey. 21 was Keanu Reeves, and 20 was Brad Pitt.
For me, I have 25, Robin Williams, Eddie Murphy, and Will Smith, all tied at the 25 spot. 24, I have Javier Bardem. 23, I have Mahershala Ali. 22, I have Matt Damon. 21, I have Harrison Ford. And 20, I have Gary Oldman and Philip Seymour Hoffman. Next week, you guys can expect 19, 18,
15,
17,
before.
16, and 15. Yeah. No, they're getting the 5. They're getting 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. But the week after that, they're going to get 14, 13, 12. 11.
Okay, yeah.
That's going to be the 4. So then we do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It only gets harder next week.
And that could be subject to change depending on no, that would be the best time, because like I'm trying to think like what we'll have to talk about. Next week will be good because we'll only have those movies, and then the next week we have Falcon Winter Soldier, so we want to have some time. Yeah,
we'll have the small stuff. So yeah, no, next week it's harder. I think next week might be I think the next 2 weeks might be the hardest.
I don't know. It might be pretty easy for me because a lot of the people that you named are probably going to be who falls in to that list for me.
Next week is when I start throwing in my older guys.
I'll probably throw in an older guy in there too. Yeah.
Like, and for those who are like, oh, what about Cary Grant? All these people. Me and Schubert, we discussed this off air. This is mostly from 70s onward, but I will have some people in there like a Jimmy Stewart, like a Toshiro Mifune. I got to put my guys in there, but they will fall in where they will.
Yeah, they might pop in where they can. For me, it's just that I just don't know enough about
those guys,
them to be able to put it in there.
And just acting's different now. It is like when I watch a Philip Seymour Hoffman movie, like I do think Jimmy Stewart can hold his own against those guys, but like Cary Grant was like a pretty face. Like, yeah, Cary Grant acted well, but like, Humphrey Bogart. Like, I watched the Maltese Falcon. Dude he's good, but like, dude ain't Philip Seymour Hoffman, Gary Oldman good.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like when we get into actresses too, because I was looking and doing the research for that. There's definitely some that you have to throw in there. Like you got to throw in a Hepburn. But like if you look back and doing their things, it's like it's very one note. You know what I'm saying? And like Elizabeth Taylor, she was probably one of the people that I actually throw in there based upon like she did a few things versatile. Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf and then Cleopatra are two vastly different movies.
Comedic actors making your list, not to give
besides Robin Williams.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
No, yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, I had to throw my comedic actors at the bottom. Show them some.
But Robin Williams will show up in the next 2 weeks.
All right, cool. Well, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to do this. I'm interested to see who your top 5 is. I'm interested to see who 10 through 6 is. I'm interested to see who 14 through 11 is. It should be
pretty close to what you have in 5.
Well, next week, like I said, we're doing 19, 18, 17, 16, and 15. Gonna be litty. I'm excited. And the next week we're reviewing Nomadland and the Frank Grillo movie.
Boss Level.
So make sure y'all go watch Nomadland and Boss Level. We're going to be reviewing those. And then the following week, Falcon Winter Soldier. Just like we did WandaVision, you're going to get it a week later, but we're going to dive into it. And it's going to be before the new episode. So right before the new episode, listen to the review, watch the new episode, get hyped. And we may, depending on if I'm streaming or not, me and Schubert may do like early reactions, maybe, not guaranteeing it. We may do it some weeks depending on how big the episodes are.
Yeah, also subject to change. If I get the money and to do it, I might end up getting Raya in The Last Dragon.
True. Also, announcement.
That might be something.
Next on March 26th, the next pitching match. Yeah. The next pitching match between Ian Hawley and Peter McGinn from What Are You Saying Anime. March 26th, it's going down. The promos for it all will start cranking up next week. Fight cards, interviews, it's all going to start cranking up. So be on the lookout for that. But that's all we got this week, Shuby. I'm excited for that match. Me and you going to be on the call. I think Brooklyn will be in the building. I think, depending on no, he won't be. He's going to be doing the pre-show interviews for this. He's gonna be doing some of the pre-show interviews. He's gonna be on the next one because this one's on a Friday night. So it's gonna be me and you in the booth. We're gonna have to figure out who that third judge is gonna be. But I'm excited. Ian, man, how you think Ian's gonna show up? He's been saying he's been studying. What do you think about this match? Let's just get our early thoughts.
Well, I know he's not an anime watcher, so if he does draw an anime,
he's screwed.
In the second round.
But Pete is a slice of life anime guy, and if he doesn't play look,
well, which could go over my head, you know what I'm saying? Like
he better not come pitch that bullshit.
Yeah, you're not a slice of life anime guy, and
how I feel about that shit. But if it's live action,
one slice of life.
But Schubert, if it's live action, it could work.
Yeah,
because slice of life live actions are just American rom-coms in America, like sad movies. So.
My biggest anime rom-com is Sword Art Online. Like I see
trash. But that's all we got this week. You guys can follow me at LinBWT. Follow Bros Who Think at Bros Who Think. If you haven't checked out the most recent episode of the Bros Who Think podcast, check that out. Me and Schubert talked about all the NFL news for this week. We gave our midseason NBA awards. Me, Doom, and Brooklyn reviewed the new Drake's 3-pack. We talked about the Tory Lanez project amongst a bunch of other stuff. Is testing your game in a relationship cheating? What about commenting on story photos? Like when people post a story and you comment on them in the DM. We talk about all that good shit. A new anime talk is out now, which people are loving. You got to check that out. We talk about which two mangaka we want to see work together. We review the latest episode of Jujutsu Kaisen and Attack on Titan. There's a new One Piece review out. And, okay, Black Klansman, Run It Back, dropping officially Friday. It's finally coming out. It'll be out Friday, and be on the lookout for the next poll. There's going to be some interesting movies in the next poll. Depending on how y'all vote will determine the cast and crew that will be reviewing it. It'll either be me, Schubert, and Ian, or me, Schubert, and a special guest. Well, that's a new guy joining the network, which we haven't announced yet. Schubert, me and you are the only people that know in the network. Well, in Doom knows because he's our CFO, our chief financial officer. He's our business guy. He has to know. But other than us three, we're the only people that know.
There we go.
It's
not. I don't think this is a show to announce that.
Oh no, we're not announcing that here, but we're just letting them know. Like, got something coming. It's big. So be on the lookout for all of that. But that's all I got, Shuby.
Yeah. So check out everything that's going on with the network. You know, not this time around, but maybe soon down the line we'll get a talented Mr. Ripley on the list, and I hope you guys vote for that. And if you haven't seen that movie, I can't say more than you need to watch that movie. One of my best plane experiences. I'm flying from Paris to Detroit, coming back from a Europe trip. And the 3 movies I watched during that flight was The Talented Mr. Ripley, The Shape of Water. What was the third one? Game Night.
I bet it went Talented Mr. Ripley #1, Game Night 2, Shape of Water 3.
Well, that was the order it went in.
The order
as in watch. That was the watch order. No, actually, I probably so, but it's not because like I hate Shape of Water.
Shape
like
of
I really enjoyed watching Shape of Water. Like so much so that when I could get the sub $5 movie at Target on Black Friday, I picked it up.
Oh, real? You must like it then. Okay.
I have the DVD of Shape of Water in my box right now.
Real? All right.
Sure. I've watched that movie, say 3 times.
Oh, geez, that's a lot. Oh, interesting. Okay.
3 times is not a lot.
That's a lot for watching Shape of Water.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good movie. It's Oscar winning. That's what I'm saying. So when we talk next week about Nomadland, we're gonna go through the list of Oscar winners and be like, is this a movie that you can watch? It's a movie that you're never going to watch, stuff like that. Because that's the case with some of these things. Like, there's movies that are Oscar winners like Crash, which, Crash is a movie that is a fence. It's on the fence. Some people will be like, oh, Crash is a great movie. And some people will be like, well, I would never watch Crash. Hurt Locker. Like, I don't think I'm ever going to watch Hurt Locker, which I probably should.
I've watched it. I don't think I'm watching it again.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
but then
we'll talk about it.
Goodfellas and Casino, I'm watching over and over.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and so and then we can even go into a commentary of what the thought process of a good Oscar winner movie should be. But
all right.
We'll save that for next week. So I hope everyone out there has a great week. You can catch me on Twitter and Instagram at AShuber14. And make sure you check out everything going on with the network, and to keep watching everything on streaming. And as always, stay safe out there and keep binging.